Justified City Primeval Episode 7. Just as all my other reviews, there are a little bit of spoiler alerts here. This episode deviates far away from the series. As stated in my other videos, Carolyn Wilder was white in the series. This time they've made her black. And the way that changes is Carolyn Wilder also has more of a cultural dynamic with Sweeney and some of the other black characters in the series. We find out that Carolyn Wilder was actually almost raised by Sweeney since she was a kid. Now, I do know that the Carolyn Wilder in City Primeval did have somewhat of a relationship with Sweeney, but it wasn't this cultural thing where he was almost like a surrogate father to her. That was something added. If you've seen episode 6 already, you know at the end, Clement Mansell does kill Sweeney. That, of course, was not in the book. That was added. So now from episode 7 and 8 on, we're going to see a lot of creative license being used here. We find out that Carolyn Wilder had such a close relationship with Sweeney now that she's completely indifferent towards Clement Mansell. They've also changed Clement Mansell's relationship with Carolyn. Now, in the book, Clement Mansell does break into Carolyn Wilder's house a couple of times. And there is a time where he almost sexually harasses her. That has been removed from the episode. And I actually think it's a pretty good idea because I remember even reading it in the story. I remember thinking, where are we going with this? Why is this added in here? Now, I know Elmore Leonard doesn't always plot his stories, so that was probably something he just kind of threw in last minute and didn't think about, but I thought it was a really weird thing for Clement to do. And I understand Clement's crazy and violent and a psychopath, but even that seemed a little just strange. This episode also does give us what we had been looking for the whole time, which is going to be Raylan's showdown with Clement, and that's pretty accurate to the book. The dialogue and everything's pretty accurate, but there is a variation at the end of this episode, which is where the Albanians come through. Now, there's something that kind of happens like that in the book, but the series does it a little different. And then they take the murder weapon that Raylan Givens had been trying to place on Clement Mansell, and they get rid of it. This puts him in an interesting dynamic because now we know Raylan Givens cannot legally come after Clement, so anything he does with Clement's going to either have to be off the books or be a little dirtier. Or, as the series suggests, questionable but justified. I actually did enjoy this episode a lot. It felt more true to the old Justified series, because some of these other episodes feel like they have almost no connection to Justified. But this one actually felt like it did have some type of connection to the old Justified series. Out of all the episodes so far, this has been one of my favorites, so we'll see how it concludes.